Alright, to make the crust, I've done this plenty of times before. If you want to see my other pizza recipes, this one is the one I use the most. It is Carnivore Pizza number 3, as it's titled. And if you wanna make this one, this is my favorite one. It's got the best texture out of all of them. And if not, I don't know, try 1 or 2. So I kind of suggest you try this one, but if you don't want to, don't feel like you have to. For this one, you're gonna need 8 ounces of cooked chicken. I've heard people using canned chicken. I still haven't tried it myself, but I know that this works because I'm just gonna blend it anyways. If you want to use canned chicken, feel free to. Just know that your canned chicken probably has a bunch of stuff in it that you don't want to eat. 1 ounce pork rinds of your choice. These are just salt and pepper. 1 egg, and then 4 ounces of shredded mozzarella. I highly suggest that you use low moisture mozzarella. Any high moisture mozzarella in any of this is going to make a very soggy crust. I suggest just buying a little brick, grating it yourself, and that's what I'm gonna do right now. Like, you can use the pre-shredded stuff if you want to. Just know it has tree bark in it, aka cellulose. But you know, if you're lazy and you don't really care, go for it. Whatever works for you. Just pretend like this is a blender, because I will be doing a magic trick here in a few minutes to show that it's blended. But if you want to do this into a blender instead of just a bowl. If you want to do this into a bowl, I don't really care, I don't control your life. Crack an egg, pork rinds, chicken, and blend. It's more of a dough than anything. It actually feels like a dough a little bit. It actually sticks to my fingers. So I'm just gonna cover this up and let it set out while I get this ricotta cheese topping made. So let's get to that. And for that, we're gonna need some ricotta cheese, Parmesan, salt, pepper. I mean, it's gonna be pretty simple. It's not gonna be a difficult pizza to make as it is. So this is about 1 3/4 cups worth of ricotta cheese. I don't need that much, probably take about half of that. Whatever half of 1 3/4 cups is. I'll take some fresh Parmesan. Probably take about 1 ounce of it total and just grate it right into this. Get a few twists of salt, maybe 1/4 teaspoon, and about the same amount of black pepper. After doing some research, a lot of people like to add mozzarella to this as well. I think I'm just gonna keep it like this, and I'll just put mozzarella on top. I don't wanna overload it with too much of that. So I'm just gonna give this a simple little mix. And it should look a little bit like this once you're done mixing it up. It pretty much just looks like more ricotta cheese. So, since this is ready, let's go ahead and get our crust done. Now, since this crust is a little bit sticky, I suggest getting a little dish of water so you can kind of rub your hands on it to kind of smooth it out a little bit easier. Otherwise, it may just get annoying and stick to your fingers, kind of like that. You can do the same thing with olive oil if you want to, or butter, or tallow, lard, you know, just any type of fat. And today I'm going to go for a square. Alright, knowing how you do this is going to be a little bit annoying, especially if you let it set out like I did. I actually let it sit out for probably a good half hour before doing this. Really, I like doing this as soon as I'm done with the dough. So, what we're going to do now is throw this into the oven at 350 degrees. I don't know, like 12 to 15 minutes. Or until it looks a little something like this. I'm not going to lie, this was probably 9 to 10 minutes, but it's also high convection, so you're probably good for 11 to 12 minutes. We're not going for a full cook here. We're just kind of get it dried out a little bit before we put some of these wet toppings on. And yeah, so now we can finally make this pizza. All you're gonna do is take dollops of your ricotta, toss them on there, and spread them out. So now as you've got your ricotta in there, we're gonna take some of my low moisture mozzarella and grate that right over the top. Follow it up with a little more Parmesan. And we'll throw this into an oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 minutes. And it's done. All you're really looking for is to get some color on the cheese. Next up, I'm gonna take this off the pan and I will put some of roasted garlic butter. And to make the optional garlic butter, you're gonna take about 3 tablespoons of softened butter, about 4 cloves of garlic that you've thrown into an oven at 350 degrees for about 10 minutes to soften. You're gonna squish those right in there. And about a teaspoon of chopped parsley. If you have a glove and you wanna use that, feel free to use that, but for now, just squish it all together. So while it's still hot, just get some in little dollops everywhere. Crack over a little more black pepper, while it's just a little bit more Parmesan. And that is the Pizza Bianca. Let's give this a nice little taste real quick, see how it is. You know, honestly, I thought I was gonna miss the sauce with this, but this ricotta cheese actually did a whole lot in place of the sauce. So, if that was a concern of yours too, I wouldn't really worry about it. This is really good. If you do try it out, love to see it on Instagram. Send me a DM, I'll repost it. Full written recipe down in the description as always. And I'll see y'all next time.